Yo, 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 new. I have been drunk slash hungover for like 2 days straight now, and that is, for my very loyal followers, loyal fans, that is the reason why I have not uploaded the last couple of days, which I know you are all very concerned about. But we are back, we are so back, and now that I say that out loud, it could have probably been a very easy way to just farm some of the days I'm behind, because I'm like a year behind or something, and I tend to, do a lot worse on my drunk runs, big surprise, but no, that was not the thing I decided to do, apparently. I still gotta figure out how I'm gonna catch up with, with myself, I guess. Whether I'm just gonna, be cranking out runs left and right, the coming months, or if I'm just gonna, do it consistently, do it like, take it casual, just like one day at a time, take it a day at a time. But then what am I gonna do when Silksong comes out? I'm just gonna be like, Jesus Christ, brother. Am I just gonna be like reviewing Silksong but still playing Hollow Knight? That feels kind of goofy, but hey, who really knows? I don't think there's an official release date yet on Silksong. I'm just kind of, it's kind of been confirmed that it is coming out in 2025, but I don't know, being Silksong, I don't have faith in any statements anymore. God damn it, wrong way. So that is basically the state of things right now. I don't really know why I said the state of things. It's not really a thing. I don't fucking know. I don't really know. Anyway. I've been drunk the last couple of days, which is real fun. Just kind of a spontaneous decision that me and bro was gonna meet up at some point and say, yo, how about it's been a long while. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I was gonna say something, but I didn't. But like 3 times in a row or something, I dashed into the guy instead of away from him. And I don't know if it's a skill issue or a controller issue. I also don't have faith in my controllers anymore. I'm losing faith in a lot of things. So yeah, I don't know. It might just be a skill issue. I'm yapping too much, not paying attention. That seems to be the issue I'm running into every time I die, basically. Oh well. So essentially, it's just been a long while since I've seen bro, and we need to kinda it was just an excuse to meet up and drink, going to bar and drink with the locals on a lovely Wednesday night. So yeah, essentially we needed to quote unquote like find out what sort of trip we're gonna go on, because we have like half an idea of going around like just around Europe, starting from Denmark, where we're from, of course, and just like wandering around, like fucking train hopping wherever we find ourselves. That's kind of the consensus we came to, at least, because it just seemed kind of goofy to drive around, even though it could be pretty fun. It did seem kind of out of the realm of we are both pretty broke, and we don't really have a good enough car. I have my old, broken, very used Kia that is technically, I don't know, I have, even my parents are surprised, like they bought it from, they bought it used. Then my fucking sister used it for like a year or two, and now I am using it for like a year or two. So yeah, I don't know. My parents are surprised that it still actually works and it hasn't like broken down. So I don't think I'm gonna take the chance, at least with that car. take the chance of like driving around Europe and ending up in like Croatia and just having no car all of a sudden. Of course, that could be part of the trip, like kind of the funny lore of me and bro on vacation, and but I don't know if I feel like spending a week in the middle of fuck who knows Croatia. I'm just throwing Croatia out there. I don't fucking know where we're gonna end up. But that's the fun part of it, you know. So essentially. That's the plan we're sticking with, because everything else seems pretty damn expensive. You know, both like, you know, of course we could be lucky and borrow a car for like a fucking month or however the fuck long we're away. We could be lucky enough to borrow one, but else we're gonna have to rent another car, or like if one of us buys a new car, but that's also expensive as fuck. Renting a car is expensive as fuck also, because it's also, you know, depending on how much time, of course. We're also pretty young, so that also counts towards expensiver renting stuff. Also, gas prices. I'm not gonna go into like, oh no, I think gas prices are too high, but you know, just the amount of driving we're gonna do is gonna, you know, obviously count towards something. And we're probably gonna pay for hotels on top of that either way, or, you know, hostels, I guess, but, you know, we could just do all of that, but, like, with some sort of, like, cheap, train system, like, Interrail, European Interrail is a fucking thing that people do, so we could just hop on the bandwagon and be like every other white girl. So, that is probably what we're gonna do, but we don't really know when. That's kind of the last thing we, kind of need to decide, I guess. And the rest of the thing we just need to fucking, I don't know, decide. We need to decide how long we're gonna be away, and we need to decide, like, roughly where we want to go. And of course, when. I don't know. Then on top of that, I also gotta save up for you know, kind of just having like an emergency exit for when me and other bro, you know, we have a plan of going to Japan for, you know, for me it's going back to Japan, but like getting some sort of working visa, and just kind of, you know, buying a one-way ticket over there and seeing how long can we stay there, because that sounds pretty fucking baller to do. So we're gonna do it. Hell yeah. And I don't fucking know, hopefully Silksong is out before that. I don't know what I'm gonna do if it is not. Anyway, that is the state of things. That is the state of life, I guess. But we got something hashed out, you know, during that time. But it was mostly just an excuse to go fucking hang out and drink. So we did that. We got down to the bars, talked with the local old guys at the bar who are there at like every weekday night and weekday day. We spotted a couple of the same fellas yesterday too. Remember, this is 2 days ago, but 1 day ago we were also at the exact same bar, you know, just doing a boys' day instead of a boys' night. Whoa, thunder! The same guys were there too, which I find incredibly funny. But that is the gist of thing. Wait, is it Friday or Saturday today? Well, who knows? Whose problem is that? Probably maybe mine. I don't know. I don't have work until Monday anyway. Shuckies. So yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Boys' Day? Boys' Day was pretty cool. Very hungover though. I didn't really feel like eating anything the first day, and then you know a couple beers in, I could feel myself being like, oh, this is gonna suck tomorrow, and then kept going because Mama ain't raised no quitter. So yeah, hangover hit pretty hard. Then the first thing we went to do, of course, was go down, get a little sandwich and a large beer, of course, because what better way to fix your hangover than with more beer? God, it was rough to get through, but yeah, I don't know. I was about to say social pressure got to me, but there was not much pressure that needed to be pressurized. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Then we, you know, I don't know. I woke up kind of early, so I took a power nap, and then, you know, back to the grind. And by the grind, I mean going down to the exact same bar, and you know, also reserving a table at this sushi restaurant. For reference, I do not like fucking sushi, but you know, it was pretty fucking cool. It's still like goated Japanese restaurant with. You know, it's a newer one that just opened up in some sort of locale that has been closed for like basically the entire time we lived here, for like 2 years. So that's pretty cool. Big place, fancy place, very fucking good food. But you know, when you don't like sushi, there's not much variety, but you know, it was still really fucking good. I would go back. Especially, it was just like an all-you-can-eat sushi fucking bar, restaurant. Bar? God damn it. I am in the mindset. So, yeah, that's what we fucking did. I just ate a bunch of, like, chicken and, you know, beef skewers and whatnot. It was pretty cool. I got reintroduced, I got some fucking Kirin's, because Kirin is the go-to beer when me and bro was in Japan, and I spotted it and I was like, hell yeah. Not that there's anything like crazy about it, it's just a good beer. So pretty excited. It was almost like I was back in Japan. Did you actually know that I was in Japan? Anyway, god damn, I feel like I'm doing really poorly in this run, but I'm not really. I'm not at a world record-breaking time, I guess. That is the one problem I have. So anyway, yeah, fucking got back, chilled out on the balcony, and basically fucking went to sleep after that. There was nothing more exciting happened, but it was just a cool boys' day. Boys outing. Would recommend, would do again. And then, yeah, here I am, having spent like half the day fucking sewing pants back together, because I have, for the longest time, just kind of had like a big pile of pants. It started off small because there was only one pair in there, but it has just been growing bigger, of pants that just have holes down by the crotch, and I figured, hey, how about not wearing these in public? So it ended up, you know, for the past like week or so, I have had like 3 pairs of pants in total, including sweatpants and all, that I have been able to wear without holes in them. So that kind of sucked. So ended up, I wanted to go down to the shop of like old ladies who could probably show me, like, you know, what to buy and how to sew my pants back together, because fuck me, I'm not gonna buy new pants. They are so goddamn expensive, and you know, oh, just go to a thrift shop. There are no thrift shop pants that are my size. I don't know why, it's just a curse I have. I'm not like outrageously fucking fat or anything. They're just never there in the right size. I don't know if I'm just too finicky with me pants. But essentially I went down to the I don't know, the biggest and best general store in town and just said, yo, let me get a little sewing needles and some thread. Got home, watched a like 2-minute YouTube video, the top search of how to sew a hole in clothes. And I did that technique for like 3 hours now, having just watched like basically like fucking new chapter of One Piece reviews, because the new chapter is crazy and I really want to talk about it. Can I talk about it? I don't know. Oh shit, yeah, I don't know. It's a whole ass rant that I can get through. Not really a rant. It's a fucking amazing chapter, but there's a lot of things that are, you know, there are more questions than ever about this guy, and there are so many things that are, you know, so many characters tied to this guy who just got revealed, and like who's the, like, who knows, who don't know, who, like, who does this affect, who, there are so many fucking questions. Essentially, we're in the middle of a flashback. Now I'm getting into it anyway. We're in the middle of the flashback that I'm just gonna put a spoiler warning, for the newest chapter, what is it, 1154, I think? We're in the middle of the King Harold / Loki flashback of just the Elbaf, what's going down in Elbaf, the entire backstory of Elbaf in a couple chapters flashback that I have just very professionally named it. So the entire shtick is that King Harold has been, you know, sort of reforming the entirety of Elbaf. And, you know, just to not be like the ruthless warriors they once were, but being, into being like, you know, going the pacifist route, of, you know, trying to figure out how to deal with humans without killing them, you know, type shit. Because they are giants, and some of them even like ancient giants being even bigger. But this chapter had a hell of a lot of reveals. Actually, God damn it, can I pause? I'm gonna have notes here on my second screen because I have sent questions to my bro because I am so fucking hyped about this chapter. He sent me first like, holy shit, this chapter is crazy, and I read it the second I woke up and said, yo, this chapter is actually crazy. So first of all, my first comment is, fucking break next week, this is some bullshit, which it is, because there was a break last week too, so what the hell? What is going on? Anyway, maybe I should explain the flashback first and then, you know, come back to the questions I have later. Anyway, reforming Elbaf into, like, a more pacifist country. Loki, the king, had 2 children, half-brothers, one with an outsider, yuck, and one with a woman from Elbaf. And the people need to, fucking figure out that, this guy that we are, you know, is technically the default, next king, next heir to the throne. He's a fucking demon child because he has, like, some wicked-ass eyes. He is crazy strong also. He fucking decapitated a bear and survived a fall from the sky at, like, 5 minutes old. So that is a crazy-ass feat, first of all. That is insane. But also, he is being blamed for everything bad that happened in Elbaf for the past, like, entire That was fucking bullshit. That guy was so slow to move his ass. Her ass? Yeah, the Sisters of Battle. God damn it. We're doing a third run. I still have a lot to talk about with this chapter. So, you know, essentially, the entire shtick here that I want to talk about, that I want to get to, is that just like kinda out of nowhere in this flashback comes along none other than Rox D. Sebek. And it is not like in God Valley or something where we get like a, you know, not even a silhouette, but the camera does not pan to the guy. He is just a voice, or somebody that is being talked about by somebody else. No, we see the guy, and he gets like a little, you know, little title box, essentially, confirming that this guy is the father of Marshall D. Teach, aka Emperor Blackbeard, which, in and of itself, is fucking insane reveal, because it is debunking and confirming so many theories, because a lot of things about the entire One Piece fucking like story essentially revolves around Rox, and like, who is this guy, and like, what did he do? Did he actually have powers, or is he like Buggy, who is like you know, a kind of a fake emperor? Like, he has the, you know, he's not strong whatsoever, but he has the charisma to lead a bunch of strong folks. That's why when we didn't really see the guy, we had a lot of theories about like, oh, we can't see him because, you know, him having this like clown ass nose would be a very big reveal that this guy is Buggy's, you know, fucking father or something like that. There's also a lot of theories going around. I believed in for quite a while that Rox and Dragon were related, or maybe even the same person. Who really knows? That turns out to very much not be the case, and you know, it's the most obvious answer, right? Sure, which it tends to be a lot of times. We tend to overhype ourselves. Everything makes sense here, right? But the main shtick is, you know, we've kinda known for a long time that they were connected, Blackbeard and Rox, because Blackbeard's ship is literally named the Saber of Sebek, which is, you know, very on the nose, but what does that mean? The whole thing with, like, you know, One Piece and, you know, found family and, you know, the wills of just random people, like, it would be like, it would fit either way. Like, I don't really care if, you know, if Blackbeard's and Rox is like actual family. It turns out that they are, but it's not like it changes a whole lot. And that's kind of the point of One Piece, right? The whole One Piece families. But I could also see this tie in very well with, you know, the themes of the eventual Luffy versus Blackbeard fight, of like, Blackbeard feels somehow that he is tied to being, you know, the, like, he is the son of Sebek, and there's, like, that, how do I explain it? Like, that is his identity, right? Which is very much like a parallel both to Luffy and especially to Ace, who he has already fought and defeated. Like, they have the same mentality but come to the very different outcomes. I could see that being the case, but we don't really know what Blackbeard's like whole perception of that is. We don't even know if Blackbeard knows he is the son of Sebek. We do not know who knows. In my thoughts, in my heart tells me that at least Whitebeard knows, at the very least. Because it fits very well with the whole, like, you know, he did the exact same to Ace, Roger's son. And it is essentially the exact fucking same thing he is doing to Blackbeard. But the question is whether Blackbeard knows or not. You know, Ace knew. Of course Ace knew, and we... why did Ace actually know? Was he just told by Garp? I think so, but like, does Blackbeard know he's the son of Sebek? Who knows? Who knows? I do not know. There are so many fucking questions. Let's just go down the list here. Oh yeah, right. There's also a statement about Sebek. We finally have his first, like, feat in the series, other than just leading a bunch of pirates. He has a huge-ass bounty that has been placed in his possession because he literally killed an admiral during a reverie like 50-something years ago. This guy killed a fucking admiral. We don't know who, we don't get a name or like, you know, the powers or anything. We do not know. In my, like, my thoughts immediately go to, for some reason, downscaling rocks, because, like, oh, there's no way, like, an admiral in the past is as strong as an admiral now, but maybe they are. Maybe we could get some more lore of, like, no, from, about, or from Kong, who is the former fleet admiral, and could possibly have been, you know, another admiral at the time, who was maybe also at that reverie. Who really knows? We don't know fucking anything about Kong, other than he sits at Marijua and just sits at his desk all day. You know, he is even more of a desk sitter than Dragon himself. So, there's that. I would very much like to know more, but I am fine with the explanation that, oh, this guy killed an admiral, but I could easily see it being like an SBS thing. Like, we just get, like, some fan mails in, like, who was the admiral that this guy took out. And it just, we just get the information in SBS, like, what was the thing I thought of, goddammit, Hanafuda. Hanafuda is a warlord that Ace took down, because it was mentioned at some point that Ace took down a warlord, and it was also mentioned that there was a vacant spot for Kuma to join the warlords. Like, who was this guy? Was just asked in an SBS, and we got a whole backstory for him. His ties with Kaido, and, you know, later there was asked even more questions about the guy. And we get revealed that he is the father of Ulti and Page 1. Which is just, like, funny lore to know as, like, a, you know, One Piece fucking fanatic. It's just fun to know. But I could easily see the exact same. We even get, like, small drawings, like, you know, illustrations of Hanafuda, how he looks, like, you know, and we can kind of conclude what his powers are out of, you know, from that. I could easily see the same being done with this admiral guy, because I don't really think we're gonna get, you know, another flashback within a flashback of this reverie. Even though I would like that. Also, to just get more clarification, because, like, how, you know, the whole thing is, like, this reverie happened, and Harold was also there, and witnessed even though he wasn't supposed to, he snuck into the reverie to, you know, I guess just find out how the reverie is, you know, being held, and, you know, what the, find out, intelligence gathering, I guess. So there's that. It would be nice to see, but I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon. Next question I have, what was his bounty? Rox's bounty? They said it was a pretty high fucking bounty, but, like, how high are we talking? Because there is canonically, like, inflation in the bounty system in One Piece, especially when it comes to, like, giants. So like, how high would it be like in real time? You know, in this time. Because I think a very good comparison would be Roger, who is at this point his bounty is like what, 24 years old, something like that. And you know, if we take that in comparison, I would think Rox, during the time he was, you know, gallivanting across the seas, I would estimate about like a 4 billion berries. And you know, of course, inflation. Like the whole thing, inflation is essentially, I don't know. I don't know if it's confirmed like exactly the numbers, but if we look at Dory and Broggy, they had, I think, a combined bounty back then in Little Garden of 100 million berries. And now, 100 years later, basically exactly 100 years later, they have a bounty each of 1.8 fucking billion. So, like, is that a linear curve, or like, can we do the exact same for Rox and Roger? Because I've seen somewhere that it lines up pretty perfectly with, you know, inflation in our real world, Dory and Broggy's. So, like, how would that work in terms of Rox's and Roger's bounties? I don't really know. I guess I don't really need to know, but it would just be cool lore to know. Like, you know, back when we didn't know the bounties of the emperors, I'm expecting it to be like, you know, that sort of a reveal too. Or, you know, after, maybe when we get a title box of him from God Valley. I don't really know. This also, now that we have gotten a good look at him, this unlocks a whole new, you know, possible perspective from God Valley. You know, of course we have sort of from the Rock Pirates, like we have their introduction of like who are these guys, who are on God Valley. But we don't get to see we don't get to see a lot of them. We got to see like something in the Kuma flashback. I would like to see the perspective of a Garp, to be fair. I think that is the main way we get that flashback, is through an interaction from Pudding using her memory fruit to rip out memories of God Valley from Garp, because they're both being imprisoned right now by Blackbeard, and it would be really interesting to see, you know, the reaction from Blackbeard now knowing, you know, that Rox is his actual father. It would just be really interesting, and that's the way I'm expecting it to go, but I will be happy to be surprised. So, holy shit, I am fumbling this so hard. I'm not doing a 4th run if I die here. God, I am running out of breath so hard. God damn it. Next question. Well, I guess not. God damn it. Quick next question, because it's a good wrap up. Big Mom is also mentioned in this flashback. She's shown because she was on Elbaf during the Mother Caramel times. Was she also picked up at this time by, like, what happened to her afterward? I might just not be remembering, like, what happened to her, but I don't think I know what happened to Big Mom after, you know, she fucking, the whole shebang she did. Like, was she picked up by the Rocks Pirates? Because she ends up at the Rocks Pirates at some point. And now the Rocks Pirates are here on Elbaf. Do they also find Big Mom and just takes her under their wing? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I have so many other questions, but I'm not doing a 4th run. Whew. Anyway, gotta get back to it, whatever it is. Yeah, bye.